Is it too late to learn AI at 60? Well, no, it's not too late to learn AI at 60, but almost everyone who hands you that reassuring answer gets the reason wrong. Your kids, the friendly tutorial channels, and the reason is the whole ball game. Get it wrong and you'll quit in a week. I know that feeling. I'm 59 and I'll be turning 60 next year, and I have wondered if I already missed it. And the mistakes has nothing to do with your age. It's a misunderstanding about what AI actually is. Once you see it, the whole thing gets easier. So let me start with a number. Go back to 2012. A smartphone was a young person's gadget, and almost nobody our age owned one, 13%. The Pew Research Center has measured it every year since. Today, it's 78. Well, the whole climb is on the screen. That is a mass adoption of a brand new technology in about a dozen years by people our age and older. You've done this before, so just give yourself credit for it. I'm Hanh, and that line is why this show exists. I write about AI, policy, and getting older, because those three now decide ordinary things inside our house, what a letter from Medicare means, whether the call about your grandson was real, what to tell your daughter when she asks if you should be worried. Nobody translates that for people our age at the speed it is changing. That's the whole job here. So subscribe and turn on notifications, and the next one finds you. If you're already using AI, that's wonderful. Now this video is for the person who has not opened an AI chatbot yet and has a reason. Now the vocabulary, because the words have been made scarier than the thing. Here is the first honest thing. The word AI is being used to mean three different things, and mixing them up is most why this feels harder than it is. Well, there is the one on the news. Machines that might one day outthink us. Not in your house. There is one already deciding about you. The software reading your Medicare claim, the system scoring your loan, and you do not operate that one. It operates on you. And here's the third one, the one that you could pick up tonight. You type a question in your own words, it answers in your own words. ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, Claude. That's the one thing this video is about. Knowing those are the three different things is your first real advantage. From here, you can sort every headline you see. So what is that third one actually? Well, it read an enormous amount of human writing, books, letters, arguments, complaints, instructions, and from all that reading, it learned how our sentences tend to go. Now, you type a question. It's not looking up an answer. It's continuing your sentence with the words that most likely come next. Well, that's the entire machine in one sentence. Hold on to it. I'm not going to show you 4 separate things today. People our age, 4 questions about this, quietly or not at all. That one sentence answer all 4, including the one where it lets you down. Question 1. Am I too old for this? Well, look at what it learned from. Written language, sentences that nobody sat down and built. Now look at that 60 years actually consist of. Letters, forms, contracts, notes to a teacher, arguments you had to put in writing and win, instructions you had to read closely because reading them wrong costs you something. That's a lifetime of handling written language under real consequences. Well, that's the material this machine is made of, and it's the skill it rewards. See, that's not encouragement. That is specification. And the outside evidence agrees. You see, AARP runs its own survey of older adults separate from the Pew. They found the same climb we opened with. Half of them owned a smartphone a decade ago. Today, it's 90%. Different organizations, different age bands, different methods, the same picture. And notice that nobody designed the smartphone for you and I. It arrived with tiny text, hidden menus, and a grandchild who set it up too fast and handed it back. Well, you learned it anyway because it connected you to people you love. So the honest answer to, am I too old to learn a new technology, is that you already learned one this decade under worse conditions, and that one did not even run on writing. This one does. So if part of you still suspects the train left the station, hold on to that feeling. Well, it is what the rest of this video puts on trial, because I hear the objection through the screen. Fine, I learned the phone. But AI is different. AI is for technical people. Question 2. Is it too technical for me? Well, most of us carry a rule in our heads, and it came from 40 years of hard experience. To use a machine, you must learn the machine's language. A VCR had its own codes. A computer had its menus. The phone had its gestures. Swipe this, hold that. Every technology you have met made you do the translating. So it's reasonable to assume this new one is the same, only worse. Well, that's the mental model in almost every head over 50. And for the first time in your life, the model is backwards. Well, go back to the sentence, the thing that completes text. That's the whole operation. So look at what that leaves for you and I to learn. There is no command language because a command is something other than plain text. There is no right place to click because clicking is not how it takes anything in. There is no syntax to get wrong. Your own sentence is the interface. And that is not courtesy. Nobody sat in a meeting and decided to be gentle with people over 60. It falls out of what the thing is. It works on sentences and you hand it a sentence. You write to it in a way you would write a note to a neighbor, and it answers in sentences. People will tell you this is like taking a computer course. There is no curriculum because there is nothing on its side to study. The nearest picture I have is a patient assistant who never frowns, never rushes you, and never makes you feel foolish for asking a third time. And here's the proof that the ground moved, and it did not move under you. For 20 years, typing a full sentence into a computer marked you as, let us be honest, old. The search box wanted keywords. Your grandkids typed 3 words. You type, dear Google, what time does a pharmacy close today? Thank you. And everyone smiled at that. Well, the search box was matching keywords, so keywords was the right input. This one completes sentences, so the full, polite, complete sentence is not merely allowed now. It is the better input. The habit you were teased for is the skill. So people our age, in the 60s, are working that out fast. This February, Pew Research surveyed more than 5,000 American adults about AI. They published it in June. Well, look at the row on this chart, 65 and older. In 2 years, the use of these tools doubled. 1 in 4 have now used one. Every other age group moved as well. Older adults moved fastest. The exact figures are on the screen. So now the figure that explains the whole situation, it's not about use, it's about confidence. Ask people our age whether they feel sure of themselves with these tools. Well, 6% says yes, 6%. Most have not tried one at all, and the figures are on the screen. So the use is climbing while confidence sits on the floor. Read those 2 facts together and the diagnosis writes itself. The gap between you and the technology was never a talent gap. It's information gap, and it's about 1 sentence wide. The kind of gap closes exactly the way you are closing it right now. Somebody tells you what the thing actually does, and the fear loses its grip. So which brings us to the fear itself. Question number 3. Will I break something? Well, run the sentence again. It completes text. Now ask what there is in that to break. There is no file of yours inside. There is no setting that reaches out and changes something else. There is no lever connected to your bank, your Medicare enrollment, or your medical record. Words go in, words come out. That is the whole surface area. A clumsy question gets you clumsy answer, and that answer is the worst of it. you cannot hurt it. And asking it a question cannot, by itself, hurt you. So nothing here is permanent either. Open one AI chatbot, ask it something. Decide you don't like it. You close it. No form is filed. You're not enrolled in anything. Almost every decision I cover on this channel is the opposite. This one you undo by closing a tab. But I promise you the honest version, and it comes with 2 real warnings. Both fall out of the same sentence. First, it can be wrong while sounding completely sure of itself. The industry calls this a hallucination, which is the $5 word for confidently making things up. You already know why it happens. It's not looking anything up. It's continuing your sentence with the words that most likely come next. When those words happen to be true, it's right. When they are not, it says them in exactly the same steady voice. The confidence in that voice was never wired to whether the words are true. So asking it to never be confidently wrong is not like asking for a repair. It's like asking a machine to run forever with no fuel. So you're not asking them to fix it, you're asking for a different machine. So in my daily use of AI, I've seen it happen, and it will continue to happen. So the brilliant explainer and a bad final authority. You never act on medical answer or money answer without checking the real source, the doctor, the agency, the document itself. Second, the same machine pointed the other way writes a scam. One fluent language can be produced on demand. Fluent language stops being proof that a person wrote it. That includes phone calls that imitate a family member's voice. I made a whole video on that. Click on the link below. And the defense turned out to be one household habit, not a computer science degree. So hold on both at once, because both are true. This technology is genuinely useful, and it cannot be blindly trusted. And that's not contradiction. That's a job description. Notice that both warnings call for a human being with judgment, standing between the machine and the decision. File that away. It's about to become the whole point of this video. And that is not honest. And that is the honest cost, not money. The cost is a second habit. Every answer that matters gets checked. A tool that replies in 4 seconds makes it very easy to stop checking. If you will not carry that habit, this is not a good trade. And I would rather say so now. One more honest finding, because I refuse to sell you a fantasy. In that same February survey, majorities of every age group, the young ones included, said AI is advancing too quickly. If you feel uneasy about the pace, you're not behind the times. You're in the majority at every age. So question 4, what would I even use it for at my age? Well, run the sentence one last time. It tells you exactly where to point this. It works on words, so the jobs it is built for are the jobs that arrive as words you have to decode, not homework, not writing computer code, the paper in your life, the letter from Medicare, a notice from the insurer, the long document where the one sentence that matters is buried near the end. So that is not the side use. That's the exact shape of the problem this machine is good at. And you have a stack of that shape on your counter right now. The people already using it landed in the same place. Among adults 65 and older who use chatbots, the Pew found the most common use is simply searching for information. About 1 in 9 ask medical questions in plain English. It reads the boring thing. It explains the boring thing. It answers your follow-up questions in your next one with the same patience at 10 at night or 10 in the morning. So what happens if you never do any of this? Well, nothing dramatic. Nobody cuts you off. The letters still arrive. You still read them twice, and you still call the office and sit on hold. Well, that's the honest baseline. But what if you give up is the second opinion before you make the call? You keep deciding on one reading of a document written by someone who was not thinking about you. It will not make you young. It will make you unhurry. There is a difference. And at 59, I will take the unhurried, which leaves us a practical question that I get. So fine, what do I do? Which one do I use? Well, ChatGPT is a runway name among adults 65 and older. 19% have tried it. The next name down is 11, and it's a famous one. But the famous and patient are not always the same thing. And for older adults, patient is the entire test. So instead of a brand name, I'm going to run the honest experiment. Take the famous one and its quieter competitors. Hand them the real paperwork of a 60-year-old's desk, Medicare letter, suspicious text message, a medication list, and see which one treats a real person best. That test is where the series goes next. I will not spoil the result because I have not run it yet. I don't write the verdict before the test. So, which means today, the brand does not matter. The method does. So here's the method, and it takes 10 minutes. So this week, find one piece of paper that you've already read twice and still not fully understand, a letter, a notice, a bill. Then hand it the kind of input it was built on, a plain sentence. Ask any chatbot in exactly these words. Explain to me in plain English. Then read it and find the one fact your decision depends on, the date, the dollar amount, the thing that you're being told to do. Then stop and take that one fact to a human being. Call the number printed on the letter itself, not a number the chatbot gave you, and ask the same question. Am I looking at the notice you sent me dated such and such? And I want to confirm two things. What it says I have to do and the date that it has to be done by. Well, that is a question that ends the uncertainty, and almost nobody asks it plainly. So the machine explains, you verify, you decide. And that is the entire first step. And it's the same discipline the professionals use. So now let me pay off the title because you have earned the real answer. The obvious take, the one inside almost every reassuring article, goes like this. Yes, you can still learn AI at 60 if you hurry because you are behind and the young people are ahead and the gap widens every day. Catch up, and catch up. Well, that framing is exactly wrong, and everything you just saw shows why. What does this machine take in? Plain English. What does it hand back? Plain English. So what are the scarce skills around it? Knowing what to ask. Knowing when an answer smells wrong. Having the patience to read, the double check, to check again. So now let's be honest. Are those the 25-year-old strengths, or are those yours? You have 6 decades of knowing when something does not add up. 6 decades of letters, contracts, salesmen, and fine print. The machine supplies the speed and the memory. You supply the judgment. And that was a deal all along. Nobody told you. And here is the law I want you to walk away with. You were never behind. For 40 years, technology asked you to come to it. And you did, again and again. Codes, menus, gestures. This is the first technology that came to you. And you're not catching up to the young. The machine finally caught up to the way you already talk. And that is the real reason the answer is no. It is not too late. Not a greeting card version. It's never too late to learn. The evidence version. The skills this thing rewards are the ones you have spent 60 years building. 13% to 78%. That's a line we started with. And that was never really about phones. It's the record of a generation being told it would never take to something. And then quietly taking to it. So let me leave you with the mirror. If a tool showed up tomorrow that ran on judgment, patience, and good questions, who in your house is actually best equipped to use it? We'll answer that honestly in the comments. I'm Hanh Brown. Subscribe and turn on notification, and the next one finds you. Thanks for spending time with me. I'll see you in the next one.